Hey, my lovely crew members. Welcome back to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, and I have prepared a really exciting pick a card reading today. The topic came to me yesterday while I was resting. I just thought I'm going to use all this Saturn in Aquarius energy that I'm already kind of channeling to create a future focused pick a card reading for you. I noticed that you guys were giving me so many interesting comments on the past life romance pick a card reading, and I think that the past life romance one was a very Saturn and Capricorn themed pick a card, because Capricorn is the lord of karma and he's all about the past and tradition and, you know, kind of like this heavy energy. But now, because Saturn is moving in the next 48 hours, is moving from Capricorn to Aquarius, and Aquarius is the sign of the forward thinker, right? The innovator, the sign of the future, the realm of heaven. So I just thought this is so fitting at the moment. I just really want to ride the flow of this energy with this pick a card reading. So I prepared for you 6 options here to choose from, and we are going to find out how your future sci-fi romance is gonna look like. So expect cyborgs, expect zombies, expect apocalyptic scenarios. If this is not your cup of tea, so please click away from this video right now. It's going to be super imaginative. It's going to involve a lot of really weird descriptions. So if you're into that, welcome. Mwah. If you're not into that, bye-bye. There's another pick a card reading for you somewhere out there. So let me introduce to you the piles that you can choose from today. You have pile 1, Introvert Gang with this Una kite. Pile 2, Empath Party with the soda light. Pile 3, Heart on the Sleeve crew with the turquoise. Pile 4, Starseed Subs with the tiger's eye. Pile 5, Crybabies Group, with the red jasper. And finally, pile 6, Twin Flames Fest with the yellow jasper. Okay guys, so as I'm trying to kind of get you to get more in touch with your intuition, choose with your gut, not with your eyes. Choose the pile that you feel most drawn to, usually the one that you first thought of. That's your first intuition is spot on. And if you've made your choice, then I'm super excited to see what comes up, and I'll see you at your pile. Love you guys. Mwah! Hello, pile 1. If you were drawn towards the Introvert Gang, so this is your reading, and I'm going to find out for you right now what your future sci-fi romance story is like, okay? So this can apply for the person that you're thinking of. How will your romance look like in a futuristic landscape? And this can also apply for some sort of like a dream or an imaginative escape that you guys had. My hope is to entertain you and to make you dream during this period, okay? So let's see what cards you got. You got the 5 of coins. Let me just focus that. You got the magician. You got the 6 of hearts. Oh, okay, it's already coming in. Take a break, a lifetime's work, not a season. Page of Wands. And your final card is 2 of Wands. Okay, guys. Your future romance love story is taking place in a circus landscape. It involves a lot of people throwing coins in machines that are actually okay, so what I'm seeing, it's like there are you are in some sort of like an environment where there are a lot of lights. There are a lot of Christmas lights, a lot of tiny decorations. There are so many lights and wheels and people. There's an atmosphere of circus, of going to a fair. But it's interesting because do you see all these coins? I feel like people that are going to this fair that is taking place somewhere almost it's as if people have erected large tents at a Burning Man festival somewhere in the desert. But I don't think that is necessarily a desert here on Earth. It could be the Gobi Desert, it could be the Atacama Desert, it could be a desert in Arizona, but it could also be a desert on Mars, okay? So I see a lot of tents, I see a lot of lights, I see a circus atmosphere, and I see these machines where, you know, those machines where you put a coin inside and you get with a claw to select a plush toy and to put it out. Well, in this case, I don't really see machines that have plush toys inside. I see machines that have male and female counterparts inside of them. And when you put a coin, you get to decide whether that male or female counterpart gets to kiss or embrace or have sex. So it's almost like there are automated love machines that have people inside of them, and you get to control what they do through the coins that you put in. And I have the feeling that you and your lover, there we go, are two people that work in that circus, in that futuristic circus. He is a juggler. Do you see the ball in his hand? He is a juggler. So he's one of those people that can actually contort their body. So a contortionist juggler, but at the same time can also like flip balls and all sorts of things in the air. So your partner is really, really athletic. He's very, very flexible. And incredibly creative and very, very balanced. I'm kind of getting like a combination of Libra and Pisces kind of energy with the skill, the physical skills of a Sagittarian. Yeah. So when you see him, you will be working there at the fair as well. But I feel like you'll be working as some sort of guard, like you will be a circus guard, or you'll be in charge of the food or the drinks, or you'll be taking care of children, you'll be escorting children. Do you know how IKEA has that space where when families come to shop in IKEA, they have the space where they drop the children so that somebody plays with them? I feel like you're gonna be like that. You're gonna have like a small petting zoo, and you're gonna guard that petting zoo, and you're gonna play with the children there. And your partner is gonna be one of the main attractions of the show. He's gonna be this juggler contortionist. I see him wearing like a full body costume. It's so much fun already. Like a full body costume in checkers or in animal print. So he might dress to look like some sort of leopard or cheetah or tiger. And he's incredibly, like, he's very muscled, you know, but very flexible and very athletic looking at the same time. Almost like a male ballerina, but stronger, you know, because he also has to flip all sorts of things in the air, like balls or those pins, you know, like those bowling pins, or he has circles that he has to put his body through up and down, you know, and he can actually like contort himself around the bar. It's almost like he's like a snake, like a very agile snake. And you are just completely wow, you know, enamored with his performance. And I see that from time to time while you are taking care of these kids that are there in the petting zoo, you need a breather, so you get a break to drink something. I see you guys all consuming this kind of like slushy green gel. It's like aloe vera vitamin gel that everybody seems to be crazy about during that period. So I kind of see that in the future, in this circus-like landscapes, people are not really consuming cotton candy or chocolate or beer, but we're all like into some sort of gels. So we have like yellow gels, green gels, and you can get them as you can cut them into small cubes and you can eat them like that, or you can just put them into slushies, you know, and we drink those kind of different colored gels, you know. And I see you outside on a break drinking this kind of very, very bright green gel and looking at this guy who is contorting his body in his really tight checkered suit, and you're like super, super impressed by him, but also aroused by him because his like physical prowess is turning you on so much. interestingly enough, I feel like there is a person, I think that this is the manager of the circus, and he's really evil. I feel like he has this kind of obsession with getting as much money as possible out of people. And very strangely, I feel like at times the people that are locked inside these love machines that are part of the attractions are people that are not necessarily there because, you know, what they wanted to be there. I feel like these are people that are serving some sort of sentences, you know, so that's why they end up like the judiciary system is going to be really strange in the future. It's going to be part entertainment, part justice, you know. So one of the ideas of judges in the future was to punish people by getting them to do community service, and the community service is going to be taking part in these love machines where they get to couple with another stranger, possibly of the same sex or of, you know, the opposite sex, according to the wishes of the public. It's a little bit like Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys saw Black Mirror, that there was an episode called White Bear, and yeah, it was all about sorry guys, there was somebody at my door, so I had to stop the video. Anyway, coming back to your romance, I was talking about Black Mirror, White Mirror. Light work coming through. I was talking about Black Mirror and White Bear, that episode. Please don't watch it during this period. It's a bit anxiety provoking, so I would rather you guys focus on this reading, okay? Because it's slightly more entertaining. So there was this guy, right, at the fair, this manager who's a little bit evil, and he's kind of abusing his privilege over these people that are serving sentences by being in these coin-operated love machines. And I feel that you are really upset about the situation. You don't enjoy it at all. And do you see how she's wearing this wand? I feel like you're a really fierce motherfucker, honestly. And he's wearing a wand as well. So I feel like one night you just have enough of people abusing these people that were in the love machines, and you start defending them. So you rise up and you contest this manager. And I feel like he engages with you in a fight. So you literally actually get your sticks out and start fighting each other, okay? And I feel like people are completely in shock because of the fact, and they can't stop staring at what is actually happening, because they think that, wow, you're such a badass, you're actually fighting this magician, you know? This man that can manifest anything, but you're like fearless, you really don't give an F. So what I think happens is that because of that fight, finally, your contortionist, lover, potential partner notices you. And not only that, but I think that he intervenes very sweetly, very gently. Like I see him climbing from on top of a roof as you guys are fighting on the ground, and he's just lifting you up and picking you up. So literally, he's removing you from the situation with fantastic flexibility, agility, and superhuman strength. Because, I mean, you seem quite sweet and frail and young looking, but your partner is the same. So anyway, he seems like he might have some sort of robotic enhancements. Maybe his hands are bionic, and this is why it's so easy for him to actually lift you up very quickly and very gently out of that situation. So the beautiful thing is that I see you guys afterwards, he takes you to some sort of Arabian themed part of the circus. So I kind of see like some sort of Moroccan kind of decorations. I see you guys then just having a conversation about what has happened, and you're just kind of like letting loose completely, and you tell them that you've been super attracted to him. You tell them that you can't, you know, you want to stop working in this place, that you think that the magician is an awful person, and that you are completely enamored with this guy's performance every night. And I feel that it's such a beautiful kind of lovely situation that Venus, 6 being the sign of Venus, whoa, trembles. Yeah, okay, so this is gonna be a situation that's gonna give you trembles, okay? I feel like you guys are gonna just realize that you're very attracted to each other, and you might also potentially have sex, you know, you might make love in the Moroccan themed room that night after the fight. So this is really interesting, because usually, you know, it's the guys that fight, but I definitely see you with the 2 sticks here as being the one that engages in the magician in a fight. and you definitely leave him scarred. So you are not coming out of this fight just for nothing, you know. People gradually, because they saw this man losing power after the fight that you had with him that night, are gonna stop abusing the love machines, and they're gonna stop throwing coins at them, you know. If you see this guy, he kind of has like an ashamed expression. Let me just focus this. He kind of has like an ashamed expression, you know. He looks like he's been drinking too much. So people kind of realize the fact that, hey, this was abusive, this was not okay. So in the end, I'm really happy to say, pile one, your love story ends on a very, very beautiful note. So you defeat the magician, you rise up from your rather servile condition of just being a guardian for children and at the petting zoo there. So you were kind of like, I see you being like on a lower social economic status, but at the same time you were quite okay with the job that you were doing. You were just not happy with what was going on in the environment of the circus and what these people were doing to the other people caught up in the love machines, right? And I see you then at the end of the night, after you engage the magician in a fight and more or less win, but the outcome is unsettled because your lover, the acrobat, the contortionist acrobat, comes in and swoops you up, right? And then takes you to this beautiful, beautiful Moroccan themed part of the circus where you guys have heart-to-heart conversations and actually end up having sex and kissing. And it's really beautiful because I can see you like talking the whole night through, because obviously from at the beginning it's really difficult because you're like full of adrenaline, right? Because you were just fighting with this guy. So the acrobat, through his movements and through the way he, you know, he contorts his body, I kind of see him putting his head in between his legs and staring at you while you listen while you listen to him, you know. And I think it's really, really sweet. Like he'll do these kind of weird movements to just kind of calm you. And I feel that he will also massage your neck and, you know, kind of really like kiss you on your neck. So it's going to be very, it's going to be very relaxing. He's gradually going to relax you. And then towards the end of the night together at daybreak, I see you guys having sex as well. So all these kissing, cuddlings, kind of relaxing conversation ends up to something more. So I definitely see you guys afterwards being super empowered as a couple and thinking, it's the two of wands, right? And thinking about what you could do, whether you would like to stay on and maybe take on a leadership position in the circus and dethrone the magician, or whether you would like to escape the circus and go out and explore the world. I see you guys thinking maybe you should return to Earth. So I'm definitely thinking that this is taking place on another planet, on another colony. And maybe there is few political and economical regulations, and this is why the magician has this, the manager of the circus has this abusive power going on, because there aren't so many people to regulate him. So yeah, I kind of feel that you guys are gonna go towards the second option, the one about exploring other places and maybe returning back to Earth. But anyway, I feel you guys have fallen in love. There's finally been, you know, a moment, a tower moment between everyone involved in the circus atmosphere, and you just managed to, this tower moment, this adrenaline fueled kind of fight situation ultimately led to the two of you revealing your passion and you actually getting the guy that you've been fantasizing about for so long. Okay, pile one, I really hope that you enjoyed this really strange pick a card reading. It was a pleasure for me to imagine this story for you. Sorry about the interruption in the middle. Yeah, if this did not resonate at all, or if you don't like this kind of story, then feel free to choose another pile. I have 5 other options, okay? So yeah, hope to see you again in my next pick a card reading. Mwah! Bye, my loves. Hey, pile 2. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the Empath Party and the Soda Lightstone, yeah? So, okay, this is a really out there kind of futuristic sci-fi story. It could apply to you and the person that you have in mind, to somebody that you have yet to meet, to something that might happen in 2055. I just want to give you some sort of like really dreamy, really sweet, really creative escapism during these really harsh times. Okay, guys? So let's see what cards you got, pile number 2. So you have 10 of Staves. Jack of Clubs. Electric blue cats. Okay, this is beginning beautifully. More animals. 7 of black hearts. I think that's the chariot card in that deck. The world. The ever unfolding rose. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Ah, beautiful. I love this deck. It's so imaginative. Deviant Moon deck. 6 of cups. And judgment. Okay, give me a second to tune in. Let's see what kind of world is taking place here. Okay, I know. You are on a cosmic farm. I see, especially in this card, I see this being your home. You are rearing biologically enhanced animal on a farm. I think this could be on Earth, actually. So I think this is taking place somewhere on Earth in the foreseeable future. You are a farmer. You have fantastic technology at your hand that plows the earth, that industrially catches with robotic arms the eggs from the chicken, that pets and grooms your horses, that tickles the bellies of your pigs, that puts Bach music to your cows. So it's like this sort of like technologically enhanced farm that has all sorts of machines that take care. So the robots take care of your animals, and all you need to do is to ensure that for example, animals are giving birth properly, and that the robots are configured properly so that they are genuinely taking care of these animals, and that they are producing. And you know, from time to time you might purchase some animals and kind of replenish the stock, so to say. But I see you as being like the head of this fantastically technological group of animals, you know. It's like it's not like Animal Farm with George Orwell, because that was when animals were able to speak and rule. But this is more like you actually are controlling these animals with the means of technology. And I also see a biome. So I see like you have this plastic dome that you can erect anytime that you hear on the radio or on television that there might be the danger of a pest or a virus that appears. So you have like an inflatable plastic dome that you can just summon up whenever you feel that there is a strong wind, or that there is pest of insects or moths or locusts coming your way. So you're protecting your farm and you're protecting your animals instantly, almost like. And I can actually see you've been through a couple of these pests and a couple of these, scares, desert winds, all sorts of things, droughts, all sorts of things that could have attacked your farm, but you're kind of like protecting it right now. There is an episode in Love, Sex and Robots that is a little bit like that. There are some people that are protecting their farms with the means of technology, but I actually see you being in a much more peaceful environment, okay? Now, I feel that... Oh God, okay. So I feel that your family members are how should I put this? They're zombies. So I feel that you are you're a man. You're definitely a man in this scenario. Maybe you traded your female body for a male body because you thought that in this way you would have more strength to run the farm. Or maybe you thought that it was, there was a choice for you to change your body, like change your sleeve more or less. And you chose to, you chose the body of a man, and you're very, very strong. I see you being very strong, but older, so around your 50s as well, right? A little bit like this dude, but less beer belly, more physical strength that has to do with carrying animals and cattle and, working the land. Okay, and I feel like somewhere in the earlier future, there was a zombie infestation. That's why you have the plastic biome. And your family members were attacked by zombies. And a couple of them transformed into zombies. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. I told you this is getting there. A couple of them transformed into zombies. I see that a couple of them were infested. However, they managed to find a cure in a fantastically short period of time. So you lock them somewhere in another room, in a cellar. I see you kind of locking a really huge door and putting like a gigantic chain around it so that they can't come out of the basement. But from time to time, there was a window or something, and you would throw food at them, you know, so that they were kept alive, but they were kept in safe conditions. And finally, when the virus started to be distributed widely so people can save their family members, they managed to stop being in that zombie. Their brain was completely brainwashed, you know, and all they wanted to do was walk slowly and eat brains. They came back, their souls returned to them. However, they remained with the appearance of zombies. So their skin changed, and you know, they do look a little bit malnourished. They look a little bit like they just came back from the dead, right? So you basically have a group of family members that died because they were attacked by zombies. They came back as zombies, but they were treated with this with this injection. Okay, so you love them, they're still your family members, they're adorable. I see you sitting around the table and eating with them. It's just that you have a different body. You're a man, you're the head of the family, a patriarch, and you're human still looking, but the rest of your family members, their souls are human, but they look a little bit like these guys. Okay. Now, you're also a little bit, you're not completely 100% human. As I said, you changed your sleeve. So you used to be a woman, but now you changed into a man, or you are a man that enhanced himself somehow. So there is this kind of weird thing. I feel like you have a glass eye, or maybe one of your feet, one of them is a blade or something. You changed something because obviously during the zombie attack, you were also hurt. So it wasn't just your family members, but you were trying to defend them, to save them, so something happened to you as well. It's just that most of them, unfortunately, got bitten by zombies and transformed into zombies. But thank God, because of the vaccine, the virus was stopped and your family was able to return to you. And the really beautiful thing is that I think you guys have a very good and healthy sense of self-deprecating humor. So from time to time, you gather your children and the people are living on your farm, and I kind of see a number of about kind of like 15 to 20 people living on your farm. So you have your ex-zombie relatives living with you, some robots that are helping you raise the cattle, and all of your animals, for example, are also a little bit weird. So the horses have collars around their necks that are chip-based. So in case they run away, you are able to quickly bring them back home with the help of some chips that are implanted in their necks. You have electric blue cats around. So they glow in the dark at night, which is absolutely great, because then I see you kind of exploring the field of your crops with the help of your electric cats. And cats usually go towards places where there is negative energy. So you're not only farming the land, you're also spiritually farming. So you're checking to see if your crops are energetically compliant. Okay, this is like out there futuristic farming. It's about not only how the food looks like, but it's also, is the food spiritually apt for people? Because if they take some of the vegetables that you're growing, I see you growing tomatoes, cucumbers, bell peppers. If people buy your products and they eat them, they want to make sure that they are compliant with the energy of their chakras, and that it's going to bring them some extrasensorial benefits, not just filling their bellies. So electric blue cats, okay? And yeah, what I wanted to say is that you're actually quite happy. So you are having a very happy family life. This is not really so much about romantic situation. It's more about having a happy family farm life in the future, and having to find creative solutions, spiritual animal-based, technological-based solutions to potential further attacks from the outside, attacks regarding changing climate. So we might be going, you know, on your farm, you might be going through recurrent bouts, as I said, of infestations with locusts, infestations with all sorts of things that appear, like the zombie infestation that you thankfully managed to survive. But vaccines are created, you know, you manage to pull through every time. You have this fantastic contraption, this plastic biome that you can just inflate and it covers your whole farm. So you are protected and you manage to survive, and your family, in spite of the fact that they look very strange, and you've been through a lot with them, you love them, okay? And you have the sense that you're flourishing in your life, right? You're flourishing, you're protected, you're loved. And from time to time, as I said, you guys like to put on a freak show. So you like to create puppet shows or theater for your children, like puppet theater for your children. Or do you know how there are those Balinese or Indonesian shadow puppet theater, so where you only see the shadows of the puppets playing, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I see you guys doing things like that, and I see family members participating in these freaky shows because they do look like zombies, some of them, okay? So but I see you guys having so much fun and actually transforming any tough situation, any scary situation into something positive and into something life affirming. And no matter how many attacks or hits you guys get, you're a family and you're standing your ground and you are not moving, okay? You are just fierce mother effers, okay? And you're just enjoying your life and making the best of with what you have. You're also very aware that you love the earth and you want to continue to create food for other people. It's not just about you, it's about giving back to the community. So super major Saturn and Aquarius themes here, guys. And yeah, you love your freaky family, all warts and all. You absolutely love them, these freaky zombies. Okay, guys, this was a really positive message. I don't know, I had so much fun. I had so much fun imagining this world for you. I hope you enjoy it. If you just didn't like it at all, you know, feel free to choose from the other options that I have. I hope I entertained you. I hope I made you dream a little bit and imagine a completely different world for just a little while. Yeah, so I guess I'll see you again in my next pick a card reading. Bye, Pile 2. Mwah. Hey, Pile 3. This is my heart on the sleeve crew. If you were drawn to this, then this is your reading. And yeah, I have to let you know, guys, if you skipped over the intro, this is gonna be a little bit out there, okay? My aim with this reading is to help you escape a little bit, to help you imagine, and to give you some really light and fun entertainment, okay? So there's going to be like very weird themes that I'm gonna pick up on, and the world that I will imagine is completely out there, okay? In tune with the Saturn and Aquarius change that we're gonna go through in the next 48 hours. So guys, this can apply to a person that you have in your mind already. It will be fun to imagine how will your love story look like in 2055 or even beyond that. Or it could be for somebody that you have yet to meet in a potential future lifetime. So let's see how your story goes. You got the moon. Ooh. Okay, guys, I'm already kind of tuning into this energy. Two of Swords. How beautiful is that? Knight of Wands. I already know what this is gonna be about, and you guys need to forgive my trespass. It's gonna be quite intense, okay? So 5 of spades. Sorry, 5 of clubs. I always mix them up. 5 of clubs. Knight of Swords. Wow. Council of Light. Are you ready for this? So I see you as being this beautiful lunar princess, okay? So you might take trips from time to time between Earth and the moon. I feel like your family is incredibly rich. They have gotten rich because they somehow manipulated water during the water crisis. So in a bit of a very kind of sneaky way, they manipulated the rivers and they managed to sell back fresh spring water to people during a water crisis. So you are incredibly rich. And I feel that your parents have a house on the moon and you go there from time to time. So you have a private space jet and you travel there from time to time. And I feel like at one point you brought back something with you from the moon. So maybe some sort of like bacteria that you brought back with you. And I feel like there is a person around you that has been secretly yearning and loving you for a very long time. This could be a bodyguard, so a person that takes care of you and is in charge of protecting you, because obviously you are this prized possession. You know, you're the only daughter of a group of very wealthy people. You could be Asian as well, so you could have been born in Asia or India, or I see that part of the world, the East, you know, that area of the world. And you are very like, the media explodes with news about your family all the time. I see your father especially, and my nose is running, so it's confirmation that this might happen. Sorry guys, this is so out there. It's the first time I'm doing something like this, so I'm just going with the flow. So I feel like your father is gonna appear a lot of times in the media, and he's like this really like, he's very strong, and he's a, you know, like swords energy, very intellectual, very rational, very controlled, but very cutting, and can be quite cruel with his words many times. And I see this as being the person that is interested in you. See two swords that are directed at the princess, and the princess is staring back, right? So I'm not sure if you're gonna be a princess. I don't know if we're gonna have such titles in the future, but you're gonna be super wealthy and you're gonna be very refined, okay? And I have the feeling that you could be born in the year of the rabbit, 1987, or any other years. I know 1987 is the year of the rabbit because I was born there, but it could be something closer, like the 2000s as well, or even closer than that, maybe in the future. But you have this kind of very like elegant, plush, fluffy kind of demeanor about you. People just want to touch you and hold you and protect you. So I feel like this bodyguard slowly fell in love with you because of the familiarity that you guys shared. And he is also your favorite person to call upon for errands. So you trust him and you ask him to go and get you your favorite food, or to go and deliver some money for you. So you're very, or to take care of your pets. I see that you have a lot of pets, rabbits or chinchillas, or like these kind of ground, fluffy, sweet animals, right? So yeah, you have this very strong, intimate bond with your bodyguard, but it never kind of crossed a certain line. This person loves you and respects you and protects you, but it's just not happening, okay? And interestingly, I feel that there is, again, another crisis. And during this crisis, your father appears a lot on television. He doesn't have time for you. There is, again, your father is arguing with a lot of the ruling people of the world. And I feel that there will be like a council of elders from all over the nations, of different races, of different, backgrounds, of different abilities as well. So it's going to be like a rainbow of people that will be ruling us in the future. And it won't be like having a ruler for each country, but it will be like a global planetary council. And these people are also going to be spiritual leaders. So they might have enhanced telepathic capacities, or they could be seers, so they could have the gift of foresight. And your father is kind of arguing with them. There is a lot of like darkness coming from your father. And I feel like these council elders more or less are sending negative intent to your father, which ends up polluting your family life as well. And during your last trip to the moon, you come back because of this negative intent, and maybe somebody has done some black magic on you from this council of elders that is upset on your father. You came back with the bacteria from the moon. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Are you ready for this? Okay. This guy came with you to the moon, and I'm not sure exactly what happens to the bacteria. I think it infiltrates itself through water or the food that you're eating. And it's almost like he has a sixth sense about you. We have five senses already, but he has one extra more because he loves you, right? So his intuition is really spiked around you, and he got into the habit of protecting you, so he kind of knows what to look out for. And I feel like this guy usually tastes your food before you eat it, just to make sure that it's not poison. And I think that the bacteria that you brought from the moon infiltrated itself in the water or in the food that you had with you while you were there. So this guy tastes the food for you, and he mutates. And it's really interesting because he remains himself, so part male, but he also becomes part insect. Okay, guys? Look at this. So he goes from this to this. So it's really, really interesting because it's gonna be a very weird combination of, he's gonna develop some sort of like insect legs and butterfly wings, but at the same time any other body part is gonna be still kind of like this really handsome, good looking bodyguard that has been by your side. So he will remain athletic. It's just that he might have certain features that all of a sudden are enhanced. For example, he might start doing like a fly, you know, like I can imagine this, like, you know how flies kind of they go like this with their hands and they wash them, you know, like go like this. And I imagine him all of a sudden like sitting next to you and going like this as well, you know, or they go like this and they lick their arms, just like cats sometimes do. So I see him getting into these kind of like really weird instinctual animal kind of things. It's also like he's not gonna look very weird as well, but he's also gonna develop extra senses. So on top of the sixth sense that he developed because he's protecting you, he's gonna feel and taste, and he's gonna see in hexagons, you know, just like a bee sees sometimes, and like a fly sees things. And I have the feeling he's gonna look really, really interesting. Like, I mean, a muscled man with butterfly wings, what the F? This fantastic, right? And I think that he's gonna be, do you see the two moons here? I feel like you're also a little bit sorceress-like, so you will have spells and incantations. You're very, very into this, like creating all sorts of potions. And the moment that you'll see him going through this transformation, which initially is going to be really painful as his body is mutating, you're going to take him under your wing. So for the first time, you are actually going to protect him, and you're going to put him to bed rest and get everybody else in your family to help and take care of him while he's mutating, because you actually fear that he might die, and he's your favorite bodyguard. So you're like, oh no, you know. And you'd realize that you developed feelings for him, and obviously he has a lot of feelings for you. So your bond is strengthened through this really painful, weird bodily transformation that he's going through because of the bacteria. So after a period of about 1 or 2 months of him mutating, he actually emerges from this mutation with these enhanced body parts. I feel like even his face, part of it, might actually start to look a little bit like like greenish, or like greenish skin. But it's gonna be really interesting because it will be so attractive, because he will have like rainbow colored eyes or like butterfly wings, you know. And it's like the hair on his hands might look a little bit raspier than before, because it's almost like he develops this one insect hand. But it's gonna be like a really interesting thing. So he won't be fully insect, he'll remain male, you know. And trust me, all the other significant body parts will remain male. So you might still couple with him. It's just the fact that he's gonna be enhanced, okay? And it's really interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with China Miéville's novels, but he is fantastic, guys, for human, animal, insect combinations. And I'm really drawn to that atmosphere. It's just that in China Miéville's novels, there are insects and it's a lot of like futuristic steampunk kind of landscapes and a lot of sewers, but this is not like that. This is like, I see you guys almost like gravitating, like the area where you guys are, it's lunar, it's beautiful, it's taken care of, it has Eastern influences, so it has a lot of like Asian and Chinese kind of decorations. I see a lot of weeping willows around your bedroom and around your house, and an air of just floating and lightness. You could actually be on a house in the clouds, so you could have like some sorts of a traveling, you could be like in one of those traveling zeppelins that is surrounded by an artificial garden, and that could be your home, and you are together with this person on that home. So that's kind of what I see, and it's really interesting because I think that you guys so because of the mutation and because of the bacteria, you guys are going to realize that you are each other's dream, that you've always loved each other, but you never had the guts or the confidence to say that to yourselves until you saw him going through pain, and you kind of flipped the roles. You were protecting him for the first time in a very long period, where he was protecting you and kind of yearning and pining after you. So it's really, really interesting. This completely shifts the power balance, and you get to see a vulnerable side of him, and you guys fall in love, and you tell each other that you fall in love. So I see a lot of moments, and this is a really beautiful image that I kind of see right now. It's like I see you both sitting next to a very large window with weeping willows outside and lots of sunlight coming in. And I see you guys being like you're on a table or on some sort of chair, and this guy is kind of holding you, but he's not just holding you with one human hand and one slightly insect kind of fuzzy hand, but he also has butterfly wings that have encircled you. And I see you guys being like forehead to forehead, you know, like you place your forehead very gently on him and he places the forehead on you, and you're like this really beautiful kind of pastel colored goddess, you know, you look very sweet and very soft and vulnerable, and he looks like really interesting, like this green and black kind of insect man with purple butterfly wings that are enshrouding you. So I kind of see you being so in love with each other and kind of having this moment of peaceful resting, that you know you made it, you survived through it, and even though he is different right now, you guys are super in love with each other, and it was necessary for this bacteria to appear in your life and for him to go through this transformation so that you could finally realize that you are in love with him. Yeah, so all bad things turning into good, right? And eventually you are having a super peaceful, super spiritual and beautiful love story with him, with a lot of passion as well, right? So you can imagine what happens in the bedroom with all those enhanced senses. Okay, maybe that's a theme for another pick a card reading. Let me know, guys, if you'd be interested in me sussing out future sex. Okay, so that's what I had for you, pile number 3, my turquoise lovers. I think this was beautiful. I don't know, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you really dislike this kind of story, feel free to choose from the other piles. I have 6 in this reading, okay? If not, maybe this reading was not for you. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to do something completely different, and I'm following my intuition and what makes me feel excited. Okay, guys, so I'll see you in my next pick a card reading. Mwah! Bye. Hello, pile 4. So this is for those of you that were attracted to the Starseed Subs, okay? Subs from subscribers. So, yeah. As I said, the story could apply for someone that you have in mind. It would be nice just to have some sort of creative, imaginative escapism, but it could also apply to your future potential next lifetime rather than your past lifetime, okay, guys? And I'm gonna do my best to try to imagine a different world for you, really like see if there's any romantic stories in the cards, and just to provide you with some sort of like fun, creative, entertaining escapism during these really weird times, okay, guys? So let's see what cards you got. You got the Page of Swords. This guy's face cracks me up. Look at him. He's like, I'm so grumpy. Also, very strong eyebrow game. 3 of Cups. The Fool. 5 of Cups. Okay, I can feel where this is going. Leap. Jump and the universe will catch you. King of Pentacles. And finally, Ten of Wands. Ooh, already like there's this feeling of super ultra calm coming over me. This is about the realm of waters. So it's a little bit like a water world romance. And I think for the first time, I'm seeing here something quite open-minded. So you guys, this is my open-minded group, because I see this could be a romance taking place either between two men, two women, or a bisexual group. So 3 people. So this is really, really interesting. I'm trying to understand if this is about a collective. Okay. I told you guys this is far out there, okay? So I have the feeling that all of the people I've shown you right now are part of a larger group. I have the feeling that the story is taking place on a remote island. You guys are surrounded by water, but it's not even an island actually. You're just surrounded by water and you're barely living on land. You are creatures that dwell in the water mostly, and then on small patches of land. It's almost as if there was a gigantic flood. Maybe the glaciers melted. There was a gigantic flood. The whole world was covered in water. Almost 99% of it was just water, and you are now having some sort of patchwork living combination where you guys have some sort of houses built underwater, covered in glass domes, or you are living up on the surface of the water and there are some small patches of land and you live in boats. And there are some people that created artificial houses on pillars that lead all the way to the bottom of the ocean. So there's a combination here of boat dwelling people, underwater dwelling people, but there is so much sea life around you, because the good part of the whole world overflowing and the fact that now we're primarily water dwelling creatures, there isn't that much earth that isn't covered by water at the moment, is that there was a regeneration in wildlife, in the sea life, the sea wildlife. Yeah, so the sea wildlife, I'm not a zoologist and you can tell. So sea life, right? Whales, sharks, fish, different types of fish came up to the surface. You know, the Mariana, how do you call it? The Mariana dig, I think. So that crest in the land, that is the deepest one that we have at the moment in the ocean. All sorts of creatures started emerging from there because they finally had all the space to roam around. So I feel that right now there are all sorts of romantic situations happening in this water dwelling collective. So as I said, some people decide to some people, and I feel that this is a couple of 2 men who are actually trying to preserve whatever they can that is made of wood and remnants. It's like they're collecting antiques, and the antiques that they're collecting are actually wood, sticks, furniture made of wood that they managed to salvage from the past, trees. They have 1 or 2 trees that they still have there and they're not dead yet. So it's like it's a group of these 2 guys, it's a couple of men who met because they had the shared passion in collecting antiques, and antiques in the future are going to be trees, because we want, in this scenario, there won't be trees anymore because it's mostly a water-based society, a water-based planet, right? So I feel like you guys meet as you're scavenging for sticks, right? And there's an instant attraction between the 2 of you. One of you is very artistic and the other one is much more like macho and much more like tough and, you know, sword wielding, you know. And but there is just such an interesting and instant intuition and satisfaction between the two of you when you meet each other. It's like, I feel like this guy, the tough guy, macho guy, is gonna be really, really into you, and you're gonna be a bit more, you know. So that's one scenario. You are a couple of men, and you meet while you're scavenging for antiques, and these antiques are going to be the trees and parts of wood. So things that are connected to what grows on Earth. They're going to be super precious because we won't have that much Earth. Another scenario is that you remain single and you decide to just explore. You get on your boat, and I see you having like this really nice technologically enhanced motorboat that can also fly. So you kind of have a zeppelin attached to it, or a motor that can help you remain on water, but also ascend a little bit if that's what you want, you know. Almost like a motorboat, like a jet engine propelled motorboat, but you can also levitate, you know, so you can actually defy gravity a little bit if you want to. And you are just very playful, and I see you fishing, so you survive mostly through fishing and selling fish. So it's almost like on your boat you create this restaurant, and where you travel you feed people all sorts of fish dishes, you know, and octopuses and sea life concoctions. So in this scenario, you're actually giving a lot back to the community. So it's about loving the world and exploring and loving life and loving this water-based dwelling world. And you love to explore it. You think that it's actually amazing that there is so much more water. And you're out there. But you're very asexual, and you're by yourself, and you're enjoying your you're enjoying your life. You know, you don't feel like you need a romantic partner. I don't see you being or like in touch with that. And then in the other scenario, I see, as I said, like a bisexual group. I did say this reading is out there. So, and I feel like you're in a relationship with two other people. They could be men. I don't know about this person. It could be another woman, or it could be another man, but I kind of see one woman and two men. So you could be in a situation with two other men that are also in love and attracted to each other, not only to you. So I see you guys, okay, this is really out there. I see you guys actually, you are generally a little bit terrified of being attacked by sharks and by other creatures. So what you developed, all three of you, especially this guy in red, he's a little bit ingenious. I have the feeling that he's like the leader of the group, and ex-scientist, or, you know, he used to have a laboratory and develop all sorts of inventions. You guys built together a fish that is, it's a mechanical fish that can like a fish submarine. Yeah, exactly, like a fish submarine. So it's a submarine that looks like a fish, like a gigantic whale, and you live inside of it, and you actually decorate it as a whale so that it's almost like you want to fit in the underwater sea life, because you are afraid that, as I said, you might be attacked by other creatures. And obviously fish have mutated during the planetary global heating wave that actually melted the glaciers and flooded the planet. So some of them are actually developing all sorts of extra skills, such as, you know, pouring acid out of their mouth. So you have to be very careful, you know, with sea life, because some of them are defending themselves to a really intense extent. So you guys live in this gigantic whale submarine, and I have to say that you guys are really, really happy. And you earn your living by going and collecting all sorts of trinkets and precious metals from the bottom of the ocean, because you have this technology that you can actually scour the bottom of the ocean, where it's very, very cold and dark. But you are okay, because first of all, your submarine looks like a fish, so it blends in really easily. And oh, a fish. Wait, your submarine looks like a whale, so it's a mammal, actually, not a fish. Sorry about that. So it's like, and you're a boss, you know, if you're a whale, you're a boss. You look fantastically large and big, and other animals tend to fear you. Even when you come in, it's like they tend to fear you. And I have the feeling that you guys are really happy, all three of you. Like, you're a group of scientists living in a whale, trying to find precious metals, and then you rise to the surface and you sell them to other people so that they can build all sorts of house contraptions out of them, you know, like you're harvesting a lot of volcanic stones, obsidian, black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is actually, it can be soluble in water, so stones that cannot be soluble in water. Jasper, for example, you know, all sorts of these kind of really beautiful precious stones, you rise them up to the surface and people create all sorts of household appliances with them. So that's another scenario that I see here, guys. Oh my god, I can't believe it. This is so rich. The other scenario is that I feel like you are part of a duo of star-crossed lovers. So you are a woman in love with another woman, and I feel that you see her as your mirror, as your twin flame. I feel like you are so attracted to this woman. This woman enhances your femininity. You both feel so connected, and you discovered each other during the planetary interchange. I have a feeling her boat bumped into your boat as you were trying to escape, and you kind of connected your boats, or you decided to live, you know, you decided to have her overcome to your boat, and you were living in a tent on a boat. So you created this really beautiful boat for the both of you. And I have the feeling that this happened, you met her on a night of a full moon, as you were kind of feeling kind of frightened, and she was like this glowing light for you, you know, and you can't believe it, but every time you look at this woman, you feel very attracted to her because she reminds you of yourself, of forgotten parts of yourself. So you have this kind of mirror game playing between the two of you, and I have a feeling that she is also really, really attractive and nurturing towards you. The only problem is that I feel that this person, it's a bit sad, but I feel like she might have committed suicide. So in this story, I feel like at one point there is not enough food, or there is a situation where you guys, because you're kind of stranded at sea, so you're in a part of the globe with a boat that is made of wood. It's not that technologically advanced. You're kind of removed from all the other water-dwelling cities that are developing at the moment, for example, where other guys are living, like where these guys were living, or this guy, you know, was traveling. So I feel like you're kind of outcast somewhere, maybe towards the lower edge of the earth or something like that, like, you know, at the pole, the South Pole or something like that. And it's cold and you don't have that many resources. And I feel like at one point you realize the food is gonna empty, the water is gonna empty. And because this person loves you so much, she jumps in the water one full moon night because she wants you to have the remaining of the food and the water. So it's a really beautiful act of self-sacrifice because she loves you so, so much. But it's gonna leave you like feeling like you lost your soulmate. So that's another scenario that I see, guys. I mean, it's like one of those really tragic love stories where two people come together, they are the light of each other's life, but then they actually have to separate because of limiting external circumstances. So that's another scenario. And to be honest, I'm a little bit confused with these cards. Let me just tune in a little bit. I'll drink some water. What is happening here? What is a potential third scenario? Oh, okay. I think it connects to these guys. Okay, okay. So I have a feeling that this King of Pentacles is actually the mayor or the president of Earth. And Earth, as I said, was only a fine strip of land on which these two guys were scavenging for antiques. So they were trying to find sticks and bits of wood and broken furniture, whatever could be salvaged. And I think these two guys, one of them, especially the more artistic kind of prone guy, works for this guy. And he is trying to have a monopole over the entire area, but he's a kind person. He's not like in the first group when we talked about the magician, that he was being bitchy and mean and abusing his power. I think this guy is genuinely wanting to you know, to gather a group of people around him, to plant gardens, to reestablish Earth, you know, and to maybe grow some artificial Earth so that we can expand the area of livable land. But I have the feeling this man is married to a very nagging person, or that could be his mother as well, but I kind of feel that this is his wife. So he's married to this really nagging person that kind of constantly complains about things and is really, really upsetting him, and is just wasting his resources. Do you see this? It's depleting him morally of his self-worth, and it's wasting his resources. So I feel like this man would really just like some peace of mind, and would really just like to feel nurtured, would really like to see that, you know, his land turns into this garden that is blooming for everyone. So I don't know exactly how the story connects. I think that this is just another story connected to all the other stories. And I think that these characters, so the bisexual group that is traveling in a whale submarine and scavenging for semi-precious stones, the guy who has his own fish restaurant and is traveling to explore this fantastic water world, and he has this ship, this restaurant that could fly and could also just sail the seas. And these two guys that are the male couple that fall in love with each other as they are working for the King of Pentacles, and they are scavenging for sticks and woods, antique dwellers. And then these two women that unfortunately are stranded from everyone. You know, they live on the other side of the globe, closest to the pole, and where it is cold, and they don't have any resources, and one of them sacrifices themselves. I eventually think that this woman actually manages with the resources that the other one has given her to push on through and reach these guys. So eventually I kind of have the feeling, and oh, this is where it's going, I kind of have the feeling that this woman is going to be quintessential in this man's transformation. So she's going to end up on the strip of land. Eventually she's going to see land after many days of suffering because she lost her lover, but also thankful for the fact that she still has resources, and she's gonna find land, and she's gonna end up in this guy's kingdom, and he's gonna really love her because she's very calm and soothing, and she's been through a lot of pain, so she understands, you know, the need to just let people rest and be grateful for everything that you have, because his wife, his current wife, is just like, nah. I see this woman kind of slowly descending into madness and kind of being like living by herself on the island, you know, and this guy and this woman kind of offering comfort to each other and just living and working the land and kind of interacting with all of these characters here and trading with them and, you know, establishing a lot of relationships with them. Wow, I feel like this could be a fantastic series. Waterworld, you know, not the Kevin Costner movie, but more like, yeah, adventures in Waterworld, or these characters. This has been amazing. I can't believe I managed to channel all these stories. You guys, I don't know how this applies to you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hoped it was like a little bit like tarot soap in the future. Facing environmental challenges, okay? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't want to make this too long. If this didn't resonate, feel free to choose another pile. I have 6 of them in this reading. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next pick a card reading. Mwah! Bye. Hey, pile 5. I am having so much fun with this reading. I really hope that it inspires you and makes you feel very fun and entertained. I don't know. As I said, this reading is very out there. It's the first time I'm doing something like this, if you skipped over the intro. And yeah, I just want to give you some sort of like imaginative escapism during these really weird times, and maybe some creative solutions. We'll see what comes up. It's all completely spontaneous, and I'm also super astounded at the stories that come up and things that I'm able to kind of channel. So this can apply to a potential imaginative situation with the person that you have in your mind, or this could actually be one of your future lives. So not your past life, but your future life, right? The one you're going to have after this reincarnation. So you chose the red jasper, and you are my Crybaby Group. Hey! Okay, so let's see, guys. I remember that I shuffled a lot of cards. A lot of cards fell out for you. So let's see. What did you get? 4 of coins. 5 of swords. The Magician, he appeared in the first pile, so you might want to go and watch that one as well. The Tower, ooh, I'm kind of getting steampunk, techno steampunk. The 10 of Wands, Mirror, getting so many things. Volcano, a volcano. And when I'm saying this, look at this. It's a tent, but it does look a little bit like the shape of a volcano, right? A pyramid. 3 of clubs. And then we also have 9 of black hearts. I'm getting so many different scenarios. You are an empath, a highly intuitive person that can predict future economical, environmental events through her sleep. So you have this capacity of enhanced lucid dreaming. You go to sleep, and when you go to sleep, it's almost as if you remain awake, or you feel like you're awake, and you can easily remember everything that happens in your dreams. But in your dreams, you are able to see the future, okay? So you have the gift of foresight, and you can predict when things are going to happen. It's a little bit like, have you guys seen that movie, Minority Report, with Tom Cruise and Colin Farrell? Beautiful. Go and watch it. It's awesome. But you're even more enhanced than that. It's not like you're just predicting crimes. You can see, you can literally, it's almost as if what happens, you can place yourself in the future, in future news stories or future events, historical events that can happen. And it's almost like you're walking in your sleep, you're walking through these events as they happen. So when you awaken, you can actually tell people, this is what I've seen. So the government found you. They heard about you. You are renowned in the area for having this specific gift. So you got visited by some men in black, and now you live in a compound, in a facility where you are being given all of the creature comforts that you want, but your job is basically to go to sleep. Yeah. So you have to go to sleep and wake up and tell government officials what it is that you are seeing, so that they can control political, environmental events that are happening, okay? So it's almost as if, and I feel like you're water-based as well. I feel like you take frequent baths. It's almost as if when you come out of these dreams, you're super dehydrated and you need to drink a lot of water, but you also need to be in bodies of water, because it facilitates this dream transmission. I'm getting like a lot of Neptune vibes here, Piscean kind of energy, you know, the gift of foresight, being in water, liquids, anything that can help transmission, you know, between your senses and the future. And I feel that you're heavily guarded as well, because of the fact that you have these enhanced capacities, and you might live somewhere at the bottom of a volcano. So that's why nobody would actually go there, because it's maybe, this is a facility, a government facility for one of the biggest Western powers, but it's actually somewhere hidden in a mountain in Fiji, you know, or Indonesia, somewhere around that area. Yeah. So you're somewhere at the bottom of a mountain in a government enhanced facility where there is an underground cave with a lot of fresh, beautiful water where you bathe in iodized sea salt, so it protects you from dark entities attaching to you as you sleep. Because obviously you're doing a lot of work for the benefit of society, trying to save people's lives and prevent catastrophes from happening. Catastrophes from happening. I had a little bit of there's an Eastern European component there as well, because I pronounced it like a Romanian or Russian would pronounce the word. So I think maybe you could be Eastern European in your future life. There is something here about you having had this gift ever since you were little. Maybe it was because of a nuclear event, like, you know, Chernobyl happened in Ukraine. Maybe something like this happened in your region again during your lifetime, and you develop these fantastic the gift of foresight, because of something mutating in you due to the influence of the nuclear exposure. You had very limited, but it was sufficient for you to develop this extra capacities. So the government picked you up, and now you're living at the bottom of a mountain, somewhere, a dormant volcano, close to a dormant volcano, because the government thinks that nobody's going to touch a volcano that might erupt any second, so it's a safe place for them to have you there. And you're super heavily guarded, right? I feel like people place such a value on you. You're like the oracle. You're basically an oracle in a female form, but you're a modern day technologized oracle, or like the Sphinx, you know, minus the riddle parts. Yeah, and Sphinx here. I have the feeling that you also need a lot of exposure to sunlight from time to time. So they would lift you up with an elevator at the top of the volcano, and you would get like sunlight for 1 or 2 hours. It's almost as if to recharge yourself, because you're like a battery, you know, you need water and you need sunlight. Yeah. It's like, I feel God Ra, the God Ra, is you're communicating so intensely with the God Ra, and I feel like you dream of the God Ra. Like in your dreams, you have this solar male presence that follows you and holds your hand as you're going through these political events, recording what happens. So you're almost like a dream reporter, you know, like, whoa. Fantastic. And I feel like something happens at one point. You're going to get your freedom. So eventually the situation, it's like basically you're a captive, right? You are this beautiful oracle, but you're a captive. You have to constantly dream and interpret and tell your dreams to these people that only want control of future events. But then an explosion happens. Basically, I think the volcano erupts one day, and it's very hard to control. The people, the government officials actually thought that they could control the eruption through their technological machines, but it's not possible. And the eruption does not only break the volcano naturally out of its, you know, comfort zone, so it awakens the volcano basically, but it destroys the facilities in which you were. And I think that this explosion is created because in your dreams you communicated with the god Ra, and you told this god that you are unhappy, that you want to escape. And because this god really appreciates you so much, and because you had this very strong intimate connection with the god, you know, holding your hand and having this light always around you and being kissed by sunlight, you know, you have a very spiritual connection, but very loving as well, because it's heart and solar plexus centered, you know, but you're basically in love with a god, and a god is in love with you. There you go. In the future, a god will be in love with you, the god of the sun, God Ra. And this god helps you, sees that you're unhappy, sees that you're caught up by these government officials, and makes the volcano explode. Yeah. And those people actually felt that they could control the volcano, but they can't. And the whole facility is absolutely destroyed. So, yeah, I feel like that the magician is actually a representation of God Ra. All of the elements are represented here. So it's almost as if from the ether, through the power of the sunlight that you've been, you know, watching for so many days on end, you developed this fantastic connection with solar energy. And also maybe because of the fact that, as I said, you might have been enhanced in Eastern Europe through some sort of nuclear explosion. So you are just really powerful right now, able to command solar energy, but also able to see into the future through your dreams. It's just that you're gonna put them to rest for a little while. I see that you're gonna be quite happy. So once you escape from these facilities, I see that you meet a younger man, but a younger man that has been through a lot of things. So he developed gray hairs very easily. And this man, initially, you're just asking him for directions because you're lost somewhere in Indonesia in a forest. This man could be mixed heritage. He could be, I don't know, Asian, or part Asian, part Arabic. I don't know, I just got this thing. He might have this kind of really mixed, interesting thing, but he's very kind and respectful and polite. And he's helping you. And I see you guys walking through the forest, and I see this guy protecting you and giving you his coat and sharing you his life story with you about what happened. And he actually says that he's been highly stressed by all the volcanoes erupting in that region, because it's a highly volcanic region, and he lost his house, and he almost lost his mother once. So it's very, very intense for him. But he feels relief for the fact that he managed to save somebody from a volcano eruption, and that is you. So I see you actually settling down maybe with this man in a really nice region that is very full of light, so very warm and very beautiful climate. Maybe you travel together with this guy. Maybe this guy actually takes you to his hut. Four of Pentacles, it's about possession and it's about holding things down. So I feel like this guy is gonna materially ground you, and with your gift of harvesting solar energy and foresight, you can actually preempt what would be the best place for you guys to live and how can you protect yourself from potential war zones or political instability or economical hardship, you know. So I see you guys being really protected. You're enhancing his life and you're like this light in his life after a lot of hardship, because this poor guy, very protective, gray hairs, he suffered a lot of stress in his life, but he's also grounding you as well. A lot of browns, a lot of stability. He's quite possessive of you once he found you, but not in a creepy way, just in a way like, I want to take care of you, you know. I can see that you've been through a lot. Yeah, guys, and eventually you're gonna end up having your little lovely hut somewhere opening to the sea, so you'll have the element of water still and also warm, somewhere where it's warm. Maybe you'll travel to Bali or one of the beautiful islands around that area, so you'll just be by yourselves, but you'll be away from government control, and you're able to basically just live your life, you know, like two people that have been through a lot, finally they're able to just be together and use your dream world for yourself, not for other people. Wow, this is really sweet. Okay, so yeah, God Ra, sorry about the sweat patch. So yeah, God Ra is gonna be your initial, the protective deity, and then you're gonna meet this really wonderful, culturally interesting guy who's going to protect you. So that was the future sci-fi romance that I had for you, pile number 5. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, please feel free to choose from any of my other piles. I have 6 of them. So yeah, I'll see you in my next pick a card reading. Bye bye. Hey, pile 6, my final pile. This is for those of you that were attracted to the Twin Flames Fest and the Yellow Jasper. So if you skipped over the introduction, this is gonna be a reading about a potential future lifetime you're going to have compared to your past lifetimes. And it could also be just an imaginative escape. Imagine yourself and the person that you have in mind. How would you have a future romance? So I just want to give you guys some sort of imaginative, kind of fun, entertaining, out there, outrageous story at the moment that can help you a little bit dream and, you know, take your mind away from current environmental threats, okay? So let's see what cards you got, my lovely Twin Flame Fest group. So you got 2 of Staves, Page of Cups, 7 of Hearts. I think it's like this, so you can see the cups. Sorry, you got Boundaries. Why is my camera shaking? There we go. The High Priestess. The 2 of Wands. And the Queen of Swords. Okay, so your future sci-fi romance is a story where your lover is a warlock. Okay, so yeah, your lover is a warlock. He is like this kind of, I don't know if you guys know this series on Netflix, The Witcher. He's like that guy, The Witcher, right? So he's kind of a lone wolf traveling the land. I feel like there has been some sort of apocalyptic battle, like some sort of 100 years war. So the equivalent of 100 years war that happened during the Middle Ages in Europe during medieval times. is going to happen in the future, and the landscape is going to be very parched and very dry, and they're just going to be these rogue ex-military guys that are just going to travel and try to make a living however they can find. But our awareness has shifted as well, and we realize that we can pierce through the 5D. So it's not only about what happens to us in the 3D, but this battle kind of enhanced our awareness and our consciousness, and we are communicating between the realms. So all of these military people, or the people that were involved in the conflict, are able to summon spirits, are able to cast spells. There is a very strong link between living in the kind of coarse and harsh post-battle material reality, but also being able to feed yourself through dreams, to feed yourself through spells, to manipulate wildlife and plants through the kind of prayers that you put into them, or the crystals that you use to grow things very fast, or to find food, or to find sources of nourishment, or to sleep if you can't, or to even eat and ingest hallucinogenic like garlic or mushrooms. Do you see those things? Yeah. So I feel like this guy is actually one of those, like a warlock, you know, he has like physical prowess, but at the same time he's very witchy as well, and he's developed these spell casting capacities, and he's scouring the land, and he's traveling in search of these hallucinogenic vegetables, garlic and mushrooms. So he's looking for them because they were in high demand. People were self-medicating, following because they were, you know, slightly traumatized after the battle, and these were in high demand. So he could make quite a really good living out of finding these, you know, it's almost like truffles, you know, they're very rare, but they are very powerful, they're very potent, and it was the equivalent of cocaine in the future, you know. So when people had them, it's like it transported them somewhere, it gave them confidence, it made them feel crazy and powerful. But obviously it creates addiction. Okay, so this guy is a little bit like oh god, an ex-military warlock, gardener, drug dealer. I'll see myself out, okay? Anyway, so this is this guy, right? And this is your partner. Congratulations. You, on the other hand, are like Xena, warrior princess, okay? You are this really badass woman. You have been through it all. There were people that tried to rape you, tried to steal from you, kicked you out of the house, horrible things, but you escaped. So nothing happened, but you escaped because you are just very strong on the inside, and you cut through the bullshit and you say things as they happen to you. You're very direct, very badass, you know, very military combat princess. Very feminine as well, but at the same time you developed, you even put on some weight during that period due to the stress, because you were just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna protect myself. So very protective, very armored, you know, against the toughness of life. So you survived through the war. Nothing horrible happened to you like it happened to other women. You survived, and you are strong, and you're in your power, but you're very, very guarded at the moment. You know, you have two swords. It's almost like these can be metaphorical, but also I feel like you will have physically all sorts of things. I feel like you'll have a pair of nunchucks as well. You'll have a belt with all sorts of things, like a Swiss knife, and you know, you're army ready, you're prepared, you've been through a lot of things. And especially at nighttime, I feel like you again, you also have like some witchy powers. You have the capacity to invoke wolves, especially, so you get animals to protect you. Wolves are one of the few remainder animals after the post-apocalyptic kind of battle that lasted for many years and killed a lot of people and most of our wildlife. But you have the capacity, especially at nighttime, to invoke wolves, and they travel with you to protect you. And you are just very, very like so in tune with your instincts and protective. You know, you don't trust anyone. You're just trusting yourself, and you want to survive. That's basically it. So yeah, so you're walking as well the land, and you're trying to with the boundaries card as well, you're pushing people away. Again, you don't really care so much about the vulnerabilities of others. You just want to survive. And of course, you end up meeting your warlock, yeah? Combat princess and the warlock. Oh, And guess what happens? You guys fall in love. Seven of Cups. This is a really deeply spiritual connection. I feel like you guys, as you're summoning these spells to try to survive and to protect yourselves and to try to just make ends meet after this vast devastation that happened, social and environmental, you are also almost summoning each other. So it's kind of like, it's very hard to control energy when you're summoning things. So you're not realizing the fact that you were manifesting your soulmate and he was manifesting you as well, right? So you meet and he offers you love, but I have the feeling that you are, wrong, go back. You reject him. And he's very prideful, yeah? He's super prideful because he's a warlock, ex-military guy. So there's a period of separation, so you both go your own ways. And during this period of separation, because he's in a really bad mood and he's feeling very self-destructive because he got rejected of you, there is a darker female entity that attaches himself to him. It's almost like Circe, you know, that the sorceress in the story of Ulysses. So the one that actually traps him in her cave after his boat is pulled to the land because on his way to Ithaca, Ulysses and his crew were mesmerized by mermaids. So Circe is the sorceress, the really beautiful, kind of alluring but dark and kind of creepy female entity that manipulates Ulysses to spend a lot of months completely drugged out of his mind and, you know, at her service. So I kind of have the feeling that this similar entity, this similar seductive, beautiful entity kind of attaches himself to him. She is not human, so she does not have a female body, but she is spirit. So it's almost like there is this kind of glitzy smoke that appears around him from time to time and arouses him, makes him do things that he doesn't want to do, and is kind of manipulating him. So it's kind of like there is he's in a relationship with a witch, but a witch that is non-corporeal, so she doesn't have a body, right? She's just the spirit of a really powerful dark witch, yeah? So you guys are separated and he's like under this spell and you're just walking about your life. And what happens? Well, I have the feeling that you, because you are such, you remain, even though you're a badass, I have the feeling that at one point you realize that through the encounter with him that you have a heart and you need to open it up, and you kind of feel bad because you rejected him. As you're traveling and as you're realizing you're seeing all sorts of situations and people, you realize, no, but I felt really drawn to him. I feel like we were so alike. Why did I push him? It's almost like you're rejecting yourself by rejecting him, right? This is so interesting because it's the twin flame piles, and I think that this is a future twin flame story, you guys. So anyway, you're having your spiritual awakening, you're realizing you have to be more in touch with your feelings, and you save a couple of people. You save old people from a house that is burning. I kind of see that there's a burning house with the sun blazing through and the fire, the red. You save a couple of old people from burning. And little did you know, so as part of your spiritual awakening, you're becoming kinder, you save these two people. Little did you know that they are actually yoga masters. They are like almost on the same level as Yoda, you know, in Star Wars, the little creature that is very spiritual and very attuned with the Force. They are the same. They are master manipulators of chi, but they are positive guys. So they are light workers. They are people that have been training through meditations and yoga throughout their lifetime. They have telekinetic powers. They can move objects around very easily, and they can levitate things as well. So you are surrounded by this really positive energy. This is your dharma because you opened up emotionally and you saved people. So you sacrificed from yourself to help others and you saved their lives, and they are forever indebted to you. So it's almost like there is this dharmic bond, because it's positive, created between the two of you. So all of a sudden you're surrounded. It's almost like you have a family and they're protecting you, and they are able to cast positive spells with you, and they teach you a little bit about how to open your heart even more. And you do so, and you gradually start to call him in with their help. You're enhancing your capacity to cast spells and to communicate telepathically with your twin flame. And you are starting to do this more and more and more. And I see that after a period of separation that could have lasted 7 months or 7 years, you are helping him break through of this really strong, powerful, sexually alluring pull that the witch had on him, the dark witch, okay? Because witches can be good as well, right? I'm a witch as well. Lightworker witch. Didn't know why I felt the need to share that with you guys, but anyway. So he gradually starts to push her away. He gradually starts to get inner strength within him because you're speaking through him. So it's almost like you are battling her through him. You're opening his eyes up. You come to him during sleep time. You, whenever she tries to kind of arouse him sensually, it's like oh God, there's a Romanian word that comes up, desamorsa. It's like you detonate him, you know, it's like, it's not gonna happen. No way, it's not gonna happen tonight, bitch. You know, so I'm sorry. But it's like this kind of like battle of wills through this guy's body, right? So it's really, really interesting because you're kind of both spiritually controlling this guy. And I think he is in the state because of the fact that he allowed himself to consume some of these magic garlic in the future. Or like, I don't know, mushroom, truffle, psychedelic drug. And eventually, with your life force and with the force of these fantastic chi manipulators, chi masters, however you want to, it's like chi is actually life force, is life energy. So they are able to manipulate life energy very, very beautifully, very powerfully. You manage to unlock his chakra centers that were blocked and you repel the smoke away. You repel the dark entity that was contracting him and kind of trapping him. So eventually this happens, the power of inner light from his soul, the fact that you loved him unconditionally from afar and telepathically communicated with him and supported him throughout and empowered him and pushed him to actually be the best version of himself. He eventually rises up one day, pushes this woman away, so she disappears into another entity, because you know, it's dark entities are lecherous, so they attach to other entities. And you kind of awaken to the fact that you need to be together with this guy. So you telepathically communicate to him that you need to see each other on the night of a full moon at a specific place. I see this being next to a body of water, a lake. Lake Baikal comes to mind. I don't know why. So somewhere in Russia, somewhere in a really cold but really beautiful landscape. So you meet there on the edge of Lake Baikal after a lot of hardship, and you kiss and you hold each other and you consummate your love affair after so much hardship and spiritual strength from your part. But yeah, in the end, warrior combat princess, or Xena the princess warrior, gets to have her ex-military warlock witcher. There we go. And I haven't actually watched that series, guys. I began watching it. I thought it was interesting, but then it kind of became a bit boring. I didn't like the script. So I don't know. Let me know if it resonates with that series. Let me know if you have enjoyed it. This has been insane. I don't know. I feel very zingy right now because I've been channeling and imagining these different worlds. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I meant it with all my positivity and all my creativity. I generally just wanted to offer you some escapism, some creative, fun things that you can loll about and share with your friends during this really weird period of time. I just want to distract your attention because life is worth living. We're gonna be fine. Even in the future, if we're gonna have these crazy scenarios, we're gonna make it, okay? Everything is beautiful. We're gonna make it. We've been through worse. Our ancestors have been through so much worse than we're having it at the moment. And in the end, the human spirit is gonna live on and survive and thrive. Okay? I love you guys so much. Please take care of my lovely crew. And thank you so much for ordering, sharing, liking, subscribing. It's like you're giving me so many hugs. And yeah, you truly made my birthday a very special day.